Hello. It's not the first time you've driven a roadster on the track, but driving a domestic electric roadster on the track is the first time. And it also has an electric scissor book. Some time ago, I just came into contact with the electric model of the MG brand. The first model should be the Sea Champion version of the MG4EV. He silently became a flag for China to go to sea. And he came out of this place, Africa, the Middle East, South America. It's a frontal battlefield, like Europe. It was the best-selling all-electric compact car in Europe from January to July. Sales even exceeded Volkswagen's ID3. This is the MG4EV from SAIC. Since the test drive of this MG for Micro Sea Championship version, I have a whole new understanding of the MG brand's models. So this time I must have taken the opportunity to test drive this 3. I've tried a lot of convertibles before. Spider 718, McLaren Lotus. I've tried Ferraris and even mini convertibles. Hey, it sounds like I really tried a lot. Haha, I used to be the owner of Insulk. It's that little Mercedes-Benz sports car. So what about my design for a roadster? Is there still a certain feeling? Before seeing the real car, I still have a few curious points about its appearance. I thought it was a very compact, very small car at first. This sports car model, it should be in the 718 level. After seeing the data of this size, you will find, but a car about the size of the 911, it's even bigger than 911s, a 2-door, 2-seater roadster. Compared to the front of the car, the rear of the car is even more avant-garde, especially this mixed rear taillight. When you see it at the scene, maybe because my perspective is higher, so I will feel that the overall tail design has a strong sense of hierarchy. The arrows aren't as big as they look in the video or the photos. It's so eye-catching. Let's open its double flash first and take a look. Only the 2 tips of the arrow are flashing. A lot of friends will complain that he looks like this sprinkler, but I personally think it's actually okay. Added filter, or the color you see in the shooting videos and photos. It's not necessarily the color we see with the naked eye. In fact, to be honest, it is much better than the video. I thought silver might be more durable. Now that I see the actual car, I think they're about as good looking. So let's interact. How about we all take a look at these 3 colors? Which one do you prefer? Of course, there are also many models of scissor doors. What about the combination of scissor doors and soft top convertibles? Hardly ever. What about at rest? He opens the shed at a speed of about 8 seconds. In the process of driving, if your speed is within 50, you can open and close the shed in 10 seconds. What about the speed of the switch shed and its texture? It's relatively silky. What about this? I also want a like. Many friends may not know it when they drive this car for the first time. Sometimes I feel that the switch on this one seems to be very high. Only people of my height to get him to close the door. In fact, there is an opening and closing door inside him. Press the button so you can easily close the door in this place. However, I think this logic needs to be adjusted. Meanwhile, it's on the key. You can also long press to close the door. What does Depster look like? What about its appearance? It's very personal. That is, it is very characteristic. For example, Silk Z for 718911. After putting them together, you will be looking forward to typing the words. Each has its own strengths on the public screen. And I think this is where sports car design wins. For someone like me who doesn't really like soft top convertibles. In fact, how well it looks in the shed depends on whether I like it or not. Personally, I think it is when opening and closing the shed. It's actually quite elegant. The side and rear of the car. I used a little bit of this widened, this black trim. This will make the overall visual effect when viewing the shed. It won't be too abrupt, can conform to a streamlined shape of its entire body. Well, this part is what I think is more ingenious in its design. Friends watching the video, how do you feel about the appearance of this car? Because it's a sports car, so we won't talk about his other spaces. Let's close the shed first, then take a look at the space in his trunk. Sometimes the soft top convertible needs such a space to fold it. So there is no way to open the trunk. Unlike my Silk, it can also open the trunk in this open state. We open, then take a look. It is a relatively standard sports car. Such a trunk for a small sports car, right? Well, what about the height? In fact, it is the accumulation box. Approximate height of almost. I think a 42-inch box should fit. Put some more small bags. The length and depth are still sufficient. Then I don't think it's too big a problem to put small luggage for 2 people. But if you have too many, there may be nothing you can do. But guys, the price of this car should be very, very affordable. That is to say, a sports car level that you and I can basically achieve. I can't imagine how much my previous Silk would lose if it was still in my hands. It's really a blood loss. Buy it and reduce the price. Okay, let's get in the car together and take a look. The driving experience is still the clutch of the Kikana project and the track experience project. And this time, Xiaobai also unlocked a brand new track, Nanjing Wanqi International Circuit. It's about 2 kilometers long, there are 8 left turns and 4 right turns. It's clear that continuous tight detours are abundant. For the brakes, chassis conditions and the posture of the vehicle on detours, there will be a very good experience. I didn't expect to take Cyberster off the track. Like what? I never thought I'd take my Silk off the track. In addition to having an Silk before, I also have a manual Civic C. I even took it off the track, but I never thought of using the Silk to play the knife. Why? Because I think a small sports car should be used for daily transportation with an open roof or for driving when traveling. Another is that there is no way to avoid the weight problem of the tram, right? Such a compact sports car. It has reached 1,850 kilograms. Well, I'm still looking forward to its extreme control. Possibly, this time it will make me think differently. You're going to the track. Then feel the chassis of the car. Chassis handling. This simulated sound wave is still quite real. And the feedback from the road surface is also very clear. Cars follow. Wow. The front and rear are tight and compact. Do you feel it? A slip. Wow, the brakes are still good. Hey, the whole thing is very playable. Ha ha ha. And his turning radius is really small. Wow. The tail is a little swayed. Ha ha ha. This is so much fun. This car. What a funny little bend. Whoops, I'll go. How about this car? What about its overall chassis tuning? It was former Ferrari F1 Championship Team chassis tuning engineer Mark Finero who conducted the overall tuning and participated in the test. And he's here today. It's for the Cyberster chassis suspension. Shock absorber bushing spring. The 5 components of the steering shaft are adjusted. What about these 5 components? I tell you so. You can't really feel it. That's what I said when he was on this detour. I just said, the body follows very well. The compactness of the front and rear of the car is also very strong. Also, it is the adjustment of the front beam value. When we usually turn this corner, if you say that this steering speed is also relatively fast. Strong follower words, this should have something to do with him. When he drives on the track. What about the feedback from the road surface to our overall body? Also very strong. That is to say, you can drive very well integrated with it. Then this road feeling feedback, I think it is related to the hardness and softness of the shock absorption. The suspension system with the rear 5 links of the double wish arms, it's adaptable to driving on city roads. Of course, I didn't try this car on real city roads. In fact, there is still a little regret. I hope to get this car in Shanghai. And I'm going to show you, on a city road, how it feels when it's, open on a daily basis. It comes with a Brembo for piston caliper. And this continental brake. The braking distance can reach 33 meters. In this whole series of sports cars of this level, it should be considered a very good result. What about the middle part of the seat? I used this package from Mechanful. Then add the spelling of the Cortex. What about skin fit and ride comfort? It's still very okay, obviously. What about the center console and the driving part? It tends to be the driver. What about another one? It's its three-piece connected screen. This is also its original design. It is very similar to the feeling of this emulator that teaches us often to drive in the game. What about the 3D screen of the computer? It is also such a visual effect for people. When I saw it in the video before, I would feel a little rustic when I saw him at the scene. In fact, to be honest, what is visible to the naked eye is still fair. What about this meter in the middle? It's just a meter that displays information. What about the sides? It's all touchable. At the same time, we can see that in this place, there will be an arrow indicating you to, say, drop down to enter the minimalist. So this is also to facilitate our extreme control driving. Can you have a clearer visual effect? In fact, it is the function of a central control screen. There will be music in it, navigation, phone calls, etc. The steering wheel is a bit too big. This part of the screen can be very blocked when looking at the right and left screens. That is to say, the function of this Bilibili is to What do you think? Can you see it here? Can't see this co-pilot either. This perspective can. You have to look like this to see this. Bilibili. So what about this? I still expect the MG brand to optimize it. As for the front end of the center armrest, there will be an obvious and clear way to hang the gear. Well, this is also the vertical arrangement used in many sports cars. On the right, there will be an air conditioner adjustment mode. It's touch sensitive. However, in this sunlight, the slightly reflective air conditioner has a trending touch. It uses this vibration touch type. This is one of my least favorite ways. But what about this feedback that is touched? Still pretty clear. What about the eyes? Move to the back, and we can see there's a very small peg there. Then this hook is actually for when you have small pets. You can make it sit directly behind this. Of course, this is also a pleasure for the convertible sports car to open the shed when traveling, but you can't have a large or medium-sized dog. Otherwise, you can't sit down. Shouldn't be able to sit in this place. Okay, so much said. What do I think of this car? Or do you have to try it yourself to experience the real fun of it? You can also feel whether this car is suitable for you, and we are also very much looking forward to its price, to give us more surprises. Okay, then today, the video is here. My experience is also very happy. Today is the fulfillment of my little wish. Try this scepter. Next, what kind of model do you hope Xiaobai will try for you? You are also welcome to leave me a message to interact. I'll see you next time. See you.